Come inside me like a guy. Voices in my head that keep me sucking balls. Okay. Okay. Pop out chat. Thank you in a tux. I appreciate that, man. And we'll put this up here. And we will shrink it. Feel free to join the Discord. System and OS info is in the description. You can help support the channel if you want. Okay. OBS says I'm offline for whatever reason. Wrong stream. Okay. Nope. I'll do that. Favorites, YT. I don't think I have a need for flat seal yet. You got me right here to the sky. I am a guy, I don't know why. Your voices in my head, they keep me going like. We'll say, but we don't know why. I tried. Happy Game seems like a pretty decent thing. That would be easy to set up. I'm gay, but I won't admit it. Hey, I am gonna do it. I'm strange. I'm gonna poo it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go. Keep it simple for now. Okay. Edit. Just chatting and gaming in Linux. So depending on how many people filter in on the chat engagement, we'll kind of go from there. Like I said, it's gonna be a short stream anyway, but honestly, not sure, Xsilver. Okay, 10-8. Got it. Yep. I really love that when I actually could copy paste, that just works. I need pzip. I got 9-27 in Steam, 10-7 in Heroic, and 10-8 in Lutris. Strainova. Not familiar with that one. I'm assuming that's a good thing, though. Community launch for Genshin? What do you mean? I don't play Genshin. But if I was going to, I would just do it this way. Noida. Well, they're very, very far from perfect. A lot of them have issues. Especially in Debian. Some really weird issues. I mean, I just don't know why I would do that when I can just use the official launch and it works flawlessly with Proton. But I'm about to install it, so we'll get to see in real time how I go about it. Uh-huh. Save. Well, Nils, I've started putting that in the title for when there's downtime. But I had a totally just chatting stream just a little bit ago. Okay. So this is exactly how I would install any of those Hoyo play games. Well, that's because the live chat's on phone immediately private for some reason. Add a locally installed game. Hoyo Play. I also do it in Steam too, like this. Wine, game options, desktop, Hoyo Play. UE Proton latest. Pause this real quick. Takes a minute launch the very first time because configuring everything with Proton, all that. There you go. I agree. Yep. Continue and install. Finish and launch. Then close it. Close and exit. Oh yeah, ZZZ. You can just disable VSync and it works. All you do is come in here. You go to the UMU folder. Go to Drive C. Program files. You find Hoyo Play. Add that launcher. Replace the installer launcher with that, and bam. I tried. We now have access to the same experience we would have in Windows. And the game runs so good. And it works so, oh man, it just works so good. I've played this game in Linux more than I've played it on any OS. It even shows up over here, which is pretty cool. Bam, 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 bam. There we go. Now, I'm just thinking about it from the average user's perspective that would just download the launcher and play the game. That looks nice. Okay. It's probably dark. By gosh, I think we've done it. Close this. Reopen it. Yep. Shrink this bitch down. Always on top, live chat. And there we go. Alright. Let's see if we can figure out. I'm falling. Get you out of my head. Voices in my head that keep me going like, oh God, me right back to the sky. Here we go. My wife's pregnancy cravings have been through the roof. Like now just thinking about it. Like at 2 in the morning, she wanted me to go to the gas station and buy fucking 2 15 packs of Pepsi. Oh no. The start screen for which one? NTE? This game is something else. I love the vibe of this game, but it's not actually that great. Like the actual gameplay. Oh, just a reminder, guys, this will be a pretty short stream, but we're gonna fuck with this a little bit while we can. I've really been into the Evil Within also. Gonna get a little loco. He's diving right into the sky. Voices in my head that keep me coming like, yeah, I'm doing it with my PP, don't know why. I tried. Get you out of my bed. Voices in my head that keep me coming like, your God might crack up in the sky. Get the ball. Oh. I like how the mouse has got little fingers moving on it. Very creepy. Mad Cabbage, welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here, my friend. Okay, you can just walk. Good. Can I? What a weird game, guys. Holy shit. This is a popular game? I don't think so. I think it's pretty niche. It's a game that I always wanted, and then it went on sale. And by on sale, I mean was made free on the Epic Game Store for like a week. It's a very interesting game. Yeah, Mad Cabbage, you might actually just fucking lose your mind at that rate. Like, this... You haven't even seen what this game has to offer yet, man. It's, It gets a lot fucking trippier. I fucking love it, though. What is this shit? Umesh, welcome back, man. I'm sorry to hear that, X-Silver. Game name? Happy Game. What distro am I on? Linux Mint. Something you have to do here. Game is trippy as shit, man. I mean, Windows, I'm trying out some distros because I don't really want to switch from 10, but I have to. Might as well see if I can switch to Linux yet. Yeah, it's a good time to start dipping your toes in the water. It really is. The only way Microsoft is ever going to improve the dog shit operating systems that they're producing now, namely Windows 11 24H2, is if people speak with their wallet and simply use something else. And the fact that Linux is free and is as functional as it is, and does not suffer from nearly as many of the same issues that Windows does, it's just pretty shocking, man. If you want something that's familiar, I'll tab out real quick. I'll show you. This is Linux Mint. It's what it looks like. Very familiar with the Windows side of things. Extremely super easy to install. It's a small ISO. Comes with basically everything out of the box you could ever need. Super compatible. Excellent support because it's based on what was effectively the most popular distro of all time, Ubuntu. And it just has system packages and flat packs. You got basically all the package solutions you could ever need. And it's incredible. It really is a great distro. So I would say that if you actually do intend on trying out Linux, this might be a great distro to start with. It's just an incredibly safe bet and a great place to learn. I love it, man. My favorite distro of all time. And you know why? Because it gets out of my way and I can just use my computer. And great NVIDIA support also for a Linux distro. Yeah, Mad Cabbage, I think you'd like it, man. I really do. Also consider Zorin. I mean, yeah, you could use Zorin, but I don't think it's any more like Windows than this is. It looks like thematically more like Windows, but it's also one of the only distros I've ever seen that tries to get you to pay for an edition of it, which automatically goes against a lot of what Linux stands for. I've not used it in a hot minute, but Oh, I forgot this puzzle. Shit. Ubuntu. Ubuntu sucks. Not the operating system itself, but the version that Canonical packages all their dog shit snaps into. Still built-in wine layer is good in Zorin. Yeah, I just don't feel like most people are using wine outside of game launchers at this point. There's just not much reason to with things like Lutras and bottles. Just, I don't know. Ubuntu also sells an edition. I don't know what you're talking about, honestly. But I wouldn't be surprised because Canonical sucks. What does it take? Ubuntu Pro is paid? I mean, you can activate Ubuntu Pro on like 5 computers for free. It doesn't... Never had to pay for it. But that's a service. Unless you mean there's like a version of Ubuntu called Ubuntu Pro, but I've never seen that. I just know you can enable whatever that shit is for free. Pop! OS is good, X-Silver. Yes, AD, welcome to the channel, by the way, my friend. Thank you for being here. I'm in a weird place with Pop because I don't want to use it until 2404 LTS comes out with Cosmic and with the Wayland fixes. Oh no, the bunny hit. Fuck me. Way too late in development for me to want a daily. No, it's just why I said 2404 LPS. Would be the ideal situation for that. Wasn't counted as much for like the pro drivers I was trying to install. Fair enough, fair enough. Pop has the best compatibility with RTX. I don't see why it would be any better than Linux Mint or Endeavor or Gh0st or any other distro that has a good NVIDIA driver. Matter of fact, the gaming performance in Pop OS is worse than just about every distro I've ever seen it tested against in all the benchmarking videos. I mean, Pop was always just really good. Like, hey guys, any Linux distribution with a non-broken NVIDIA driver has the best compatibility with RTX. But having a distro that is more up to date would clearly have better compatibility with new features. But I mean, you can just upgrade the NVIDIA driver in Ubuntu or Linux Mint or Pop OS to. I mean, Pop OS automatically installs the latest driver that's not in beta, I think. But I refuse to use it because, you know, I'm waiting for the update. Yeah, I used to really like Ubuntu Mate back in the day. Yeah, so we've made it to the part of the game where I can't figure out what to do. It just depends on the distro you use, AD. Linux Mint, super easy. Matter of fact, I'll show you exactly how to do it. You click on this button right here, type in additional. You open up this driver manager application. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, it will show you a list of drivers you can install. Secondly, there is a single command you can run that automatically configures everything, which is really good. Called sudo apt install NVIDIA driver revision number like 550. Type in your sudo password and you're good. But driver manager is really good for that. Linux Mint, in my experience, has been the best I've ever had with NVIDIA drivers. But Gh0st Cinnamon was also really good. Cinnamon and NVIDIA just work really well on the computers I've used it on. Well, Xsilver, see, I've had a ton of people in here saying that theirs actually perform better. So I guess it's just another fragmentation thing. That rings a bell. Yeah, Gh0st is pretty cool, and it's not like a super long. It's not like Linux Mint that's been around for like 20 years and voted in like the top position on certain things like that, like DistroWatch. But Gh0st has been around for long enough and has a dev team large enough that I would feel comfortable running it. And matter of fact, I've had mostly nothing but great experiences with Gh0st. I've used just about every edition under the sun. Gh0st Cinnamon and Gh0st Mocha are both excellent. Mocha if you want Wayland and a super highly customized KDE experience, and Cinnamon if you want something like this that has great XOR compatibility, stuff like that. Any OpenSUSE users? I have not used it in many years, like 5 years, almost 6. But I've heard some interesting things about it recently, let's put it that way. Blue Box, welcome back, my friend. Pardon me, sir. Can I ask you what game you're playing today? Well, I just got done playing Happy Game, and I could not figure out the fucking stupid puzzle. Gh0st Gnome sucked the last time I tried. See, it was great the last time I tried, but that was on NVIDIA. Gh0st Gnome always works so well on my NVIDIA PCs, like way better than anything else other than Linux Mint. Except for on my 4060 Ti, I used it once. I didn't really fuck with it that much because I had moved away from that distro just about entirely, but I've got a video on my channel called My Experience with Gh0st Mocha, where I basically talk about everything that I like about it. Finally hit over 1,000 views too. That's a great distro, but it suffers from some of the same issues a lot of other Arch-based distros where it's easy to break. Yeah, I don't remember using the AS tool very much, but I've heard it's good. Unless that's the new thing they're developing, they're supposed to be changing something. I tried to get you out of my head. The voices in my head will keep me going like. Most of my use of Linux comes from Steam Deck. Totally fair, man. Is it? It's buffering. Okay. I was about to say. Voices in my head keep it coming like you've got me right here in the sky. Oh fuck yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Let's watch some shitty YouTube shorts for a minute. I'm starting to get really tired, so fuck. Yeah, there is one that I know of, but yeah, that's crazy. It's like the most bog wild distro, but immutable. Man. I would definitely recommend Endeavor over Gh0st, but Gh0st is far more new user friendly. So that's exciting. It's pleasing to be in your stream. My eyes are on you, good sir. It was good, man. I want to test the Evil Within before I go to bed, but it's still got a few minutes. I liked Chimera quite a bit, except for the fact that the swap file is like useless unless you've got at least 16 gigabytes of RAM. Does my disk drive work? I assume it does. Yeah, SteamOS has way better support for those handheld PCs now, so I use that, which is pretty cool. Um, well, you can set it up. You just have to unlock the file system in Chimera. But I know you can have no, you can have a swap file and ZRAM, I think, or a swap partition in ZRAM. ZRAM is just the best swap option under the sun. I know that one or the other is compatible with ZRAM. ZRAM is just the best because it just reserves a small amount of your memory and then compresses memory overflow back into RAM, which, as you can imagine, will be much faster than accessing that from a hard disk or a solid state drive. Most streamers don't talk about Linux and just know the name. AD, I've been using it for 13 years, my friend. I created this channel with the mission of helping people, specifically with Linux, but other things, of course. So that's what we be doing here, man. I've converted a lot of people to Linux, taught a lot of people how to do certain things, worked out issues with them. It's great. And we have a Discord in the pinned comment, by the way, which actually has a computer help section, specifically for those that might be, I don't know, seeking help. It's pretty epic. So anybody that wants to join that, if you have a Discord, you are more than welcome in our little community we're building. And we have over 160 Linux users in there. And Linux elitism is banned. You don't ever have to be ashamed of the distro you run or how you use your computer. Anybody that acts elitist will just be insta-banned from the server. I want it to be a totally safe space for Linux users, new and old. So that's kind of like, that's like the mission. Spread some positivity, teach some people about Linux, show them what it's capable of, and then let them come to an informed decision on their own part. To just see that they have a different path from Windows, because a lot of people have heard of Linux, but seeing it in action, seeing like me launch a game in Steam or install a game is different than seeing a benchmark with Mango HUD. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of where I fit in the niche. Atar, welcome. I installed Linux about a month ago on my data ban and HPC. Great choice. I appreciate that, AD. Because those are the main reason games are supported it. Yep. It's pretty funny. I just closed my stream chat on accident. Now I've got to fucking reopen it, and I don't like that. He's driving right into the sky. But yeah, one thing I can't stand is elitism in the Linux community. It's, I would say the two or the three major stopping points for people thinking about switching, whether you understand computers well or you don't, is number one, can it play your anti-cheat games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, whatever, and run Adobe software? Those are like the two main things on that point. The second thing is, do I have to use the Linux terminal ever? Easier now than ever to not have to interact with it hardly ever. And the third thing, and arguably the most important, is trying to be accepted into a community that is oftentimes incredibly hateful and very spiteful and will just treat you like the utmost piece of dog shit for not understanding something that you've never used. And that sucks. I hate that because people turn away from it because of stuff like that. Because how are you going to learn the terminal if you can't ask people about it? Or how are you going to find out what games you can and cannot play if people are like, bro, you should know that. Choose ProtonDB. Like, I just want to be a helping hand, you know? Yeah, I believe it is, Atar. I'm streaming and playing my games locally on the same machine. My hardware specs are in the description, by the way, if anybody's interested. Darton, welcome back. We're just talking about some of the more negative aspects of the Linux community. Maybe you should, Petaflop, get the fuck out of here. Honestly, Darton, that'd be pretty fucking funny, man. Yeah, AD, yeah, they exist. One thing I love about Endeavor is it kind of escapes the negative aspect of the Arch community, which is cool. I like the elegance, converting people to Linux, giving them a community is really magnificent. Yeah, that's all I want. I just want to create a community of actual good vibes and people that want to help, you know, versus, you know, the bad part of it. And you could find a million people out there that was like, yeah, I wanted to switch to Linux, but I asked for help in forum post and was treated like absolute dog shit, so I just switched back to Windows. That sucks. Hours just messing with Arch, keep breaking it until it works. LMAO, yeah. I mean, if you've got the sanity to deal with that, then I fucking commend you, man. Yep, a fellow AMD user, absolutely. My 7600 has served me well. AD, when you said that, I was like, is he talking about Arch? ChatGPT can be good for simple things, but when you get into more nuanced fixes, being able to parse forum posts and actually have a helping hand from somebody like me on stream or a community fills in that gap. Honestly, AD, I used to be the same way. I loved it when I was challenged. I'm not like that anymore, which is why I love Linux Mint so fucking much. I don't want to be challenged anymore. But for 13 years, I love that shit. Used to play Fortnite. I'm currently thinking about getting an SSD for dual booting. You absolutely should, man. Absolutely should. My balls hurt. Welcome to the stream. My balls hurt too. My wife was slapping them earlier. It was fucking terrible. I did bust a huge ass nut though. I gotta be honest. Okay. Oh, Manjaro. Manjaro used to be so goated. Just like Ubuntu. What happened? Your balls fall off? See, I like to introduce a little bit of chaos into the world. I mean, it does. It's very light on resource usage. Here's the main way that I like Linux over Windows. Not only is the AMD driver better, good to hear my balls hurt. Mangaro, well, we're talking about Mangaro 2, okay? Yes, I totally agree, AD. And you definitely should do that, Atar. I think you'd have a great experience. Sudden, unskippable 200x 69-second ad jump scare, so true. Here's the biggest win for me outside of the AMD driver being so good. Is that Windows? Okay, imagine you have an 8 GB GPU. That is more than enough for most modern games, with some exceptions, of course. Imagine you're in Windows, you're trying to play Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, at high settings, 1080p, or even medium, and the game is consuming basically every inch of your video memory, like all of it. Imagine not being able to play it because Windows is consuming over a fourth of your total graphics memory by rendering a taskbar and a wallpaper. I kid you not, Windows 11 will bore up to 2.3 of my 8 GB of video memory, forcing my games into swap, forcing performance issues, stutters, slowdown. That does not happen to me in Linux. Yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense, Darden. Now, we've got a lot of, as you can see, a lot of these are sub-processes, so it shows both. But if you were to combine the sub-processes with the host process, it wouldn't look nearly as bad. But I mean, we got 8 GB of memory being used. We're installing games and 2 launchers. We've got a couple tabs open, multiple game launchers. OBS is streaming. And it's just working flawlessly. But yeah, they said 4 GB normal RAM usage when idle was low too. Yeah. I hate Windows 11. Well, Elch, welcome. Thank you for being here. I highly dislike it myself. I need a process sitting in a tree. Fucking voring my PC. Oh shit. Let's go. Open games and game scopes and kill your DE. Yeah. Yeah, me using Razer Cortex or whatever that shit was to turn my desktop off in Windows. Need to be able to get it under 100. 100 is my reaction to that. The government, I don't know, just been reading through those leaks from all the fee-for-service folk. Marking the new hand, I'll have a customer 11. Yes, that is so fucking funny. Yeah, X Silver. I think everybody fucking did, honestly. Back in the day, like, I had a computer with a GTX 960 mobile in it. Razer Cortex did make a difference on that piece of shit. Oh, so you really fucking needed an X Silver. Good lord. When gaming now just to see if it's doable. Well, I mean, GameScope as a microcompositor does help certain things, but I don't know if you've got even a moderately low-end machine that's not like really bad. In Linux, at least, I don't think it make a difference. Windows is where it gets heavy. Do they, Darton? I don't think I've seen the AN5. Let me roll. Is this what you're talking about? GameScope works on desktops? I mean, yeah, you just install it, run a command, or you add a launch option to your game with your GameScope parameters, and it launches over the desktop in its own microcompositor. Yeah, no, Wayland is so good at handling stress. Like, insanely good. Matthew, welcome. Favorite Linux distro? Linux Mint. Like the middle part, you put your CPU cooler on. Okay. Welcome to the channel, by the way, Matthew. Well, AD, GameScope has had some issues recently, but if you have the flat pack of Steam, the easiest way is to just install the flat pack of GameScope. Depending on your distro and how old it is, like in Linux Mint, it's actually really difficult to get the system package for GameScope working, but you can download an older version of it. Make an i3 consume 280. What? What i3 are you talking about, dude? Must be new. Methane, I've been using Linux for 13 years, so definitely not new. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Hello, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Yeah, you know, Linux Mint is not only good for beginners, but it's good for people that just want their computer to work. Another thing this channel does shifts the perspective just a little bit. Voices in my head to keep me going like the sky. See how poorly this fucking game runs. Papa hasn't called it K-pop was. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, Mint is old like Debian. Or Linux Mint Debian Edition is really old. Linux kernel 6.1. 4-year out-of-date Mesa drivers. It's crazy how when people say like something's old, generally speaking, most people in the community would agree that it doesn't matter unless you're on cutting edge hardware. Like 8 out of 10 times for the general user, being on 6.11 versus 6.14 is not going to make much of a difference other than stability's sake. To use their computer instead of installing a bunch of distros. Atara, the thing is, I still do use Endeavor and Fedora 42, but I always come back to Mint. Always. Oh, it's been around, yes. That's one of the things I love about it, man. It's got a long-standing history and is like the most popular community distro. Or at least it was, and still is really high up there. Like, yeah, I don't, why do people, I mean, Linux Mint's a great beginner distro because it just works most of the time. But for somebody to be like, oh, he's using Mint, he must be new. What the fuck can you not do in Linux Mint that you could do in something like Ubuntu, which is not as old, or fucking Debian, or literally anything else? Thank you, Brian. Welcome to the channel, my friend. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, most people definitely don't know most of the time. And that is true, AD. Installing mainline is literally like one command, a couple of yes prompts, and then you can have access to literally the most up-to-date kernel. Not only that, but it's super easy to upgrade your graphics driver in Linux Mint. Like, super fucking easy. I've upgraded it to Mesa Git. I've done all sorts of things with it. Okay, SSAO and reflections. Man, this graphics community sucks. Installing Basic got distracted a few seconds and Mint installed itself. Hell yeah. Like, I know compositors, but yeah, that's fair. Proton is goated? Absolutely is. FL Studio worked for me also, which is pretty epic. I'm glad to hear that, Lid. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Can I... No, okay, it's... Oh, it's in letterboxed mode. Witty. You got me right here to the sky. Casual or survival? Most definitely survival. See, Flatpak, you most of the time have new Mesa there. It is built into the Flatpak. That's interesting. It never made a difference for me, personally. For instance, Doom the Dark Ages is only playable for me on Nobara and Endeavor. And in both of those, the Steam Flatpak still couldn't play the game because the game recognized the older Mesa driver.
Call went out just before I picked you up. Said it was multiple homicides.
Yep, too.
He beats the ghost of that doctor who went schizo and chopped up all those patients.
That's not what happened.
Where's my subbies? Where's my subtitles?
Some kind of scam?
No.
Still, gives you the
for you to install from the flash drive. Yeah, it's.
You think there's a connection?
I just think there's a reason why it is in such good favor with the community. Like, the devs don't make political spectacles of their opinions or the operating system. It is super highly compatible because it's based on the most popular distro of all time, that being Ubuntu. It has all the perks of Ubuntu minus the negative ones of Canonical's official release of Ubuntu. It doesn't shove snaps down your throat or any weird package solution. It gives you system packages and flat packs. It's familiar if you like Windows, which is great. It's got its own thing going with the whole Mint thing and the color scheme and the desktop and everything looks good. It's just great.
Any thoughts?
It's like, Linux Mint's the first time I ever felt like an operating system was truly made for me. Brown, I actually have that listed in the description of the stream. So you can find a little bit more information there about distro, kernel version, Mesa version, and my hardware, all that stuff. But I have an RX 7600, just to answer your question anyway. I'm gonna grab Kubuntu. Be careful, AD. I have to let you know that last time I used it, I had a bunch of issues with it, specifically when playing certain games. Not to say that'll happen for you. Still think it's probably worth a shot, but just be aware. In 2011, so I think it's GTA working on Ubuntu. Fuck yeah, dude. Brown, you don't gotta apologize, man. I just wanted to let you know that you can find more information in the description. But I have no issues answering your questions, man. It's fine. Matter of fact, I never put it in there previously, but I was fucking harassed into it for so long by like so many people that I just finally started doing it. Sure thing, Guitar. Thank you so much for being here, man. I hope to see you again. Be safe. What game is this? This is The Evil Within 1. Otherwise just simply known as The Evil Within.
Smells like blood.
Alright.
Going on the purple app? I don't know what that is. I would say, Brown, that this is a very good game
Don't let anyone else through this door.
that has some annoying aspects, namely in some of the characters. Oh yeah, I mean, I streamed on Twitch way longer than I did on YouTube. Oh, I used to. But I was not building a community on there. Not to mention they delete your VODs after a certain amount of time, which is really pissing me off. YouTube's where my fans are. YouTube saves all my stuff. I just think it's better in general. And YouTube is hypocritical and has a lot of problems, but I can't fucking stand Twitch. I can't stand them. One of the worst companies I've ever seen in my life. The fucking hypocrisy of that company gets under my skin so fucking much. I mean, borderline evil, in my opinion. I can't stand them. But if I had a bigger audience, I would probably stream to that just for the people that prefer it. Twitch and Xbox both, so true.
I've got it. The security cameras might tell us something.
I know you love me, I'm a guy. The Evil Within 2, though, is better, I would say. Definitely. But this is still really good. Oh, some spooky shit's about to happen, boys. Leon, welcome. I just joined the stream. The first thing I noticed was that classic Halo mic. It's epic, isn't it? Yeah, Brown, I agree. I fucking agree. I was so mad when they killed him. Yep. So true, Methane. So true, man. Welcome in, by the way. If I didn't already say that, I honestly am starting to lose track. My brain is dead right now. Down, this is called The Evil Within. We should be getting some spooky shit here in a second. I don't actually know if it's... I thought it was scary when I was 16. But then again, at that point, I had one kid and was fucking married. Why the fuck was I scared of this shit? The fuck? What am I? Retarded? Yes. Yes, I am. Also on PS4, I mean, it's chopping up corpses and hanging from the roof. So I would say, yeah, maybe. Maybe there is evil. Why is he bouncing around like that? Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I'm twitching and I'm wiggling on that bum. Uh-huh. Okay, you know what? Fuck, I was just thinking of Scooby-Doo 2002. Definitely lose 20% evil then. I'd say it's more like 0.083%. I'm kind of branching out and playing different games. This has been on my back catalog for 10 years. I'm playing through the second one currently, so I'll probably not play this one again until I beat that one. But I did want to check this one out. Let's just see how it runs. Yeah, he fucking was. He was T-posing. This letterbox shit's really making me mad. Although I do think the letterboxing kind of makes it spookier. Fuck. What about Windows so much spent 4 time doing programming work there? I need to migrate to Linux plus Windows VM. Fair enough. It's a cannibalism game. Honestly, I think this plays a very small part in the game, but I couldn't tell you definitively. Reprogramming requires Windows? Fair question. Yeah, a lot of people do prefer programming in Linux, but since I haven't done it very much, I couldn't give an opinion on it. Fair enough, I think. Fair enough. Whoa, Richard! That's the greatest night of TV history. Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. It was a G.I. Jane joke, dude. Keep my wife's box off your fucking lips. Yeah, this is some Saw type shit, man. I am the fucking lawyer. That's so fucking true. I'm also limping like the bitch sat on my cock, twisted too hard, accidentally locked my leg in between her legs, and snapped my fucking calf muscle out. What an incredibly descriptive thing to say. Easy guy, welcome. Man, I would fucking love to work like that. I was in talks with somebody that actually became a sub on the channel, but he's been really busy, so I've not been able to get it sorted out. Yes, sir, Cheesy Guy, welcome to the channel, and hello from the United States of America. It's very great to see you.
Where's the exit?
Play Valorant for my Mac keyboard and stuff. I mean, that's totally understandable. You'll never find me complaining that somebody uses Windows. I'm accepting of Mac users when I use idiots. I'm fucking tired. I almost did BDSM. I'm glad I didn't. I just love, like I said, showing people different paths. Nobody I am sky. I don't want to fucking hear that. I don't think I'll get copyrighted for listening to Perry Mason. I tried. The sky.
As long as it can, it soars through the air.
The sky's gonna blow up, I'm telling you. He is fucking chasing his dreams hardcore. You guys ever want to check out like an artist on YouTube that's really pushing, man? Perry Mason's great. I've been following him for years. Fair enough, Methane. This part of this game is really pissing me off. What in the fuck, man? Why is it making me limp everywhere? I get he cut my foot or whatever, but damn. Oh! Fuck! Fuck! I just got done talking about how this wasn't scary. Alright, Perry Mason, thank you for filling the void in my heart for a minute, but I guess I'll play my own music at this rate. To another guy's brain. Umesh, welcome back, man. That's so cool that it does that. How the fuck do I search? Golly. I get out of my head. Voices in my head that keep me going like. Okay, put this back up here. Make sure the audio levels are good. I think that's probably good. This is something I'd like to start pursuing again, though. That's my music stuff. Yep, X Silver, totally agree. Single GP pass through is such a fucking pain in the ass. Well, now the flames dashing, when the blue lights flashing on you. Umesh, I'm doing alright, man. Just dealing with life. You know how it is. really hard recently, man. No, 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 no. I can't deal with this right now. I just can't. Fucking itchy nose. Just can't. I can't do it. Fuck, it's stressing me out so much. Ugh. Is this done yet? 23 minutes. Okay. Probably let this download off. Fuck. Alright, let's try window capture. That's pretty cool, Xsilver. I heard you can spoof it, but the problem is that it doesn't work very well. You could get banned. Yep, Xsilver, that's a good point, man. Missed. It's gone away. Till then, I have to suck a sheep. Baby, fuck gay inside his big fat ass. Furry. Yep, you could do that, Dayod. I've heard a lot of people do that. Shake me, except I will a dream. Okay. We'll change the stream title. Fuck, I really need to go to bed. Actually, yeah, I'll probably have to do that. Dayod, if you look at my description, man, you'll see the more specific aspect, but I'll go ahead and give you a quick little rundown. Ryzen 5 7600 6-core 12-thread CPU with an RX 7600 GPU, 8GB video memory, 32GB DDR5 6400 MHz, and we have a 1TB Samsung 990 Pro NVMe SSD, which is a boot drive for Linux Mint. We also have a 1TB SATA 3 Western Digital Blue SSD that I have a ton of issues with, unfortunately, so I just use it for backup storage. And then, last but not least, a 2TB USB-C NVMe SSD, Samsung T5 Evo, I think is what it's called. And I have a Windows 11 to go installation on that, so I can just plug that drive up at any point, have 2 terabytes of accessible space, a usable install of Windows 11. I can play Warzone with my wife, but also, if a game comes out in Linux that I can't play, or my friends want to play something I can't play in Linux, I always have that accessible. So I'm dual booting in a very unconventional way, but a very functional way. Actually, I think probably the definitive dual boot experience. Because I could just unplug that shit when I don't want to fucking look at it, lock it in the drawer, throw the keys in the trash that never gets taken out, and bam. Run away down a big blue. Yep, I wrapped that shit. You absolutely, I wrapped it. Unlike my cock when I have sex with my wife, which is why I have 6 kids. In a world not justified in a stupid rage. Maybe I could even dream. Good, Methane. Good. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks so much ass. And cock. Both. Dick and butt. You feel me? Like, no fucking vajayjay. Specifically cock and man ass. That's it. Could you imagine a lot of this? Yeah, be either X Silver. I think Ghost Spectre is totally trustworthy. Tons of people have vetted its authenticity and the no spyware aspect, so X Silver, fuck yes. Yes, dude, Ghost Spectre's awesome, man. If I was ever going to use a non-official Windows ISO, it would always be Ghost Spectre. I would not trust literally anything else except for a custom-made ISO that I made. Ghost Spectre is so good. My friend, I actually converted, because his Windows 10 install broke, I convinced him to clean install Ghost Spectre, and he's been using it for almost 2 years. That's good, X Silver. It's also a really good version of Windows to run in a VM if you want light resource usage and, just a better experience in general. Ghost Spectre's pretty hard to beat. It's just so fucking good. And I love the guy that develops it. He seems like such a cool dude. Yeah, methane. Well, you know what? Leave it in a pinned comment on your stream one day so other people can take note of that as well. Whatever that fucking means. I have no idea. I just pulled that out of my asshole. Kind of like turds. I get fucking stupid when I get tired. Did I try the Chris Titus WinUtil? I have in the past, yeah. Not a big fan of him. I also don't think that is really even worth it. Like, it does debloat Windows 11, but every time I've debloated Windows 11, something always broke. Ghost Spectre strips it all out entirely. And that actually does make a difference. Yeah, I'd have to agree with X Silver. I didn't notice anything, but like there was no improvement to anything. It just removed some shit that wasn't even running anyway. For the most part. Not that everything it removed didn't have some type of tangible usage in something else. But why do that when you can get Ghost Spectre and just have all the bad stuff completely stripped out and a much cleaner experience? Like, Ghost Spectre is like literally Windows 11 core without the other stuff. It'd be like installing Endeavor with just KDE and like the applications that come with it instead of like a full-blown thingy. Making Windows usable? Yeah, me either, X Silver. Honestly, my Windows 11 to go install, my 2TB USB-C NVMe SSD is untouched. I just created it with Rufus, set it up with a local account only, disabled the privacy shit in the setup, and something. But the update part is something come back to vanilla? You mean like like a compile? I mean, I don't know if you knew this, Dayon, and this does suck, but this isn't the fault of Ghost Spectre. This is Microsoft and how greedy they fucking are with their cocks in people's asses. You could install games on Steam that use Microsoft Edge WebView or another browser that uses WebView, and it will reinstall Microsoft Edge. It just will. You can't do nothing about it except hope and pray you don't install anything that has Edge as some sort of a dependency in some way, shape, or form. Like, it's ridiculous. Edge came back for me all the time also, and also came back for my friend, so. But at that rate, your best bet, just don't launch it. Hey, that's a good point. X Silver, my friend did not upgrade Windows Superlight at all. I didn't do it either. But Edge would still find its way back from installing other browsers and other apps, unfortunately. Big Blue Street in a world not justified in a stupid rage. Maybe I could even dream we did not meet this fate. Is Mr. Creepypasta streaming? Yeah, I could just run away from this. The pain is overwhelming. That's good, X Silver. I didn't see that. Did you put security updates? Because I do all my banking stuff on PC. Unfortunately, something I stopped doing. That's exactly what I love so much about Linux. Linux, you can be up to date and still be super secure. You don't have to make a compromise like you do with Windows. But like I said, I don't even use Superlight now, and I haven't in a long time. Then client connect to your storage probably to Microsoft server, pay a monthly fee. Methane, I totally agree. Which is why I hope people come to their senses and start using fucking Linux. Stupid. Maybe I could even dream we did not meet this fate. I will run away.
I'm what you would call a savant.
I fucking love MCP, dude.
Numbers appear.
I used to watch this shit so much that it drove me crazy. Windows 365, oh yeah, baby. My favorite. The new Talon tool is something I recommend to newbies that aren't experienced with tinkering and don't want to try Linux. Ah.
Say 2 days or 3 days before the actual con day, I was
1.70, dude.
and I was starving. So I looked.
He's a console gamer. How could I have known?
That's him. That's him for sure. You make sure you tell him what you told me, okay?
Yeah, I'll tell him exactly what I told you. All right, what's up, Randy? What's the problem?
Hey, boss.
Randy? I thought your name was Parka.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I lied to you.
Have you ever wondered what
Here's something you might never see again. I'm
Helpful
grateful for this
offices.
system done now. Not only this experiment is
Fuck,
extremely
you guys are
useful,
funny
but also
sometimes, man.
phenomenal.
What multiplayer games you playing right now? Well, other than Warzone and Black Ops 6, that's a great question, Dan. So I was playing Raft a lot in May, having a good time with my ex-best friend. We made a lot of progress on there. Unfortunately, I'll never play the game again, I don't think, because it's just attached to terrible memories. Other than that, Phasmophobia has been pretty excellent. Astroneer is a multiplayer game. I haven't played multiplayer with anybody because I don't know anybody that plays the game. I played Baldur's Gate 3 earlier in the year. Dark Souls 3 Seamless Co-op and Elden Ring Seamless Co-op. I also got Elden Ring Night Rain a couple days before it launched, and I played that day one in Linux, and that was pretty fucking flawless experience. Helldivers 2, play that sometimes. I was playing Warhammer Vermintide 2 a few weeks ago. I played the Outlast Trials back in May also. Repo, played a shit ton of that. Schedule 1 is multiplayer, but I've not actually played it with anybody. Elden Ring's actual multiplayer also works very well. Marvel Rivals, I've played a little bit of this on console, but I've not touched it since. So I'd like to try that again. Linux a bit of a no-go as lossless scaling doesn't work. Well, AF, welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Let's see. What else is multiple? I played a shit ton of Valheim. Dying Light 2's multiplayer works flawlessly. I played some No Man's Sky also. Remnant 2. Played Battlefront 2 Classic with mods. Yeah, all sorts of games, man. But Phasmophobia was like my main one. Currently saving by a 4K monitor, 32-inch. Yeah, I've got a 24-inch 1080p monitor, funnily enough. And I love it. It's 165 hertz. I got it for like $100, like an LG Ultra Gear. It's a great monitor. In a world not justified in a stupid. I forget I'm using Linux Mint sometimes, but I'm also constantly reminded because I can just enjoy it, and I love that so much. Does Gamescope do that? I believe I've heard of that being a capability of it. The new version of Clippy, so true, Brian. I didn't even think about that. That is so true. So fucking true. The No Viewer fan club speaking straight up fucking facts. You know what? Since we're waiting, and I do have to go to bed soon, we'll try some fucking Noita real quick. See if we can get a little run going in here before I kill it. Down a big blue street. Although I am going to make me some fucking ramen real quick, so. In a world not justified in a stupid rage. Maybe I could even dream we did not meet this fate. So I will run away. I could run away. Where the fuck is the bowl at? Oh, yeah. From this. No, it's not there. Where did it go? There it is. The pain is overwhelming me. I just want to live. So much 8-bit chaos. So fucking true, man. I'm terrible at it, dude. I am so bad at Noita, it's not even funny. One of the hardest games I think I've ever played. My glorious King Clippy. Yeah, that's what I called my king back in the 16th century that would cut his hair all the time. And he'd make me pay for it. No, yeah, me too, man. It's a great game. It's just, it's like really hard to digest. Very difficult, definitely difficult to master for sure. Don't think I've ever played a game quite like it, honestly. I mean, I've played games similar to that, but not quite in the difficulty spike. Like, by the time you get to sometimes in round 1 you get fucked. But by the time you get to 2 and 3, like, I've never made it past 3. Never. Why did I sleep, honey, on you? Yep, that is pretty nice. Why did I fuck pardons to this? It was a life worth living with simple tastes. The dreams of growing old we missed. Well, now the pain is gone away. A couple that makes me think like Risk of Rain. Yeah, it's just I feel like that game's actually playable. Like, never got stuck in the first couple rounds. Like, that game really amps up after like you've been playing for 20, 30 minutes. And what it ramps up like within the first 20 seconds. Honestly reminds me a lot of Hades too. We're the world not justified. Yeah, the waffle boss button win is pretty good. I'm gonna wait until I finish my food before I kill the stream, so we're just gonna sit here and chat a little bit longer like we have been.
Then I trimmed it up to look nice. But what you don't know is that
So maybe another 5 or 10 minutes max, and I really gotta go El Sleepo.
my first seasoning was salt and pepper.
But if I get that job Wednesday, I'll be most likely working third shift, so kind of trying to train myself. Stay up late like I'm gonna need to.
Especially because bone marrow is 100% fat. Then I took my brisket out of the smoker, placed it in a container, and used a ridiculous amount of bone marrow to submerge the whole thing. Set it in the oven and let it deep fry. Because once it was fully cooked, I wrapped it up, let it rest, and this is what I was left with. Deep fried bone marrow brisket. Now, even though this was a lot of work, it will always be one of the most memorable briskets I ever had in my life.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow.
Here's something you might never see again. I'm deep frying a
Hearts with
brisket in
Gnome,
bone
the
marrow.
best
Now, not only
combo
these experiments
ever,
extremely
ever,
insane,
ever.
they cost a
I
lot of
actually used to
money.
really
You
love
see,
Debian
first
now.
I started with a brisket like this. Then I trimmed it up to look nice. But what you don't know is that this brisket is a very cheap one. I'm talking about the lowest quality I could find. I first seasoned it with salt and pepper. Then I put it in the smoker to smoke for 4 hours. Then it was time for the hard work. I had to go ahead and extract a ridiculous amount of bone marrow. First we roast them, and then they become an oil, especially because bone marrow is 100% fat. Then I took my brisket out of the smoker, placed it in a container, and used a ridiculous amount of bone marrow to submerge the whole thing. Set it in the oven and let it deep fry. Because once it was fully cooked, I wrapped it up, let it rest, and this is what I was left with. Deep fried bone marrow brisket. Now, even though this was a lot of work, it will always be one of the most memorable briskets I ever had in my life.
Damn. Oh, wow.
Here's something you might never see again. I'm deep frying a brisket in
I think it depends on your adapter. It's not really
Cost
distro
a lot of
dependent.
money.
Some
You see,
adapters
first
are
I
literally
started with
not
a brisket
capable of
like
doing
this.
both.
Then I trimmed it up to
Some
look
are.
nice. But
So
what you don't know is that this brisket is a very cheap one. I'm talking about
I
the lowest
guarantee you that's
quality
the
I could
cause.
find. I first seasoned it with salt and pepper. Then I put it in the smoker to smoke for 4 hours. Then it was time for the hard
Unless
work.
it's a
I had to go
Windows
ahead and
specific
extract a
driver
ridiculous
thing.
amount of
Like
bone
you
marrow.
might have a Wi-Fi
First we
card that is
roast them, and then
capable
they
of
become an oil,
inbound and
especially
outbound
because bone
connections
marrow is
like that.
100% fat. Then I took my
But
brisket out of
you
the
got to
smoker,
remember that
placed it in a
Linux is using
container, and
baked
used a
in kernel
ridiculous amount
drivers
of
that
bone marrow
are not
to submerge
necessarily
the
up
whole
to
thing.
spec with
Set it
Windows
in the oven
versions.
and let it deep fry. Because once it was fully cooked, I
I
wrapped
mean,
it
well,
up,
I mean,
let
it
it
still
rest, and this
makes
is what I was
sense.
left with.
Like
Deep fried bone marrow brisket. Now, even though this was a
my
lot of
internet
work,
adapter,
it
for
will always be
instance,
one of the most
works
memorable
in
briskets
Linux,
I ever had in my life.
Damn.
and yet
Oh, wow.
Here's
it
something
works
you
like
might never
shit.
see again. I'm deep
I
frying
can't
a
use any of the
brisket
same
in bone
features that I
marrow.
can in
Now, not only
Windows
this
thanks to the
experiment is
driver.
extremely insane, it costs
I
a
can
lot of
connect to
money.
the
You
internet,
see,
that's
first
about
I
it,
started
but
with a brisket like
Bluetooth,
this. Then I
hotspot,
trimmed it up to look
every
nice.
other
But
feature
what
of
you
the
don't know is
adapter
that
just
this
doesn't
brisket is
function
a
in
very
Linux, and
cheap one.
it's
I'm
not
talking
functioning
about
in a
the
single
lowest
distro I've
quality I
tested,
could
which has
find.
been
I
like
first seasoned it with
fucking
salt and
tons of
pepper.
them.
Then I put it in the smoker to smoke for 4 hours. Then it was time for the hard work. I had to go ahead and extract a ridiculous
Just
amount
do
of
how
bone
it be
marrow. First we
sometimes.
roast them, and then they become an oil, especially because bone marrow is 100% fat. Then
Honestly,
I
if
took
there's a
my
Wi-Fi
brisket out of the
driver on that
smoker,
was
placed
like
it in
that
a
too. It really
container, and used a
sucks.
ridiculous
Well,
amount
my
of
dog
bone
chewed it
marrow
up,
to
so I can't use
submerge
it
the
now
whole
anyway.
thing. Set it in the oven and let it deep fry. Because once it was fully cooked, I wrapped it up, let it rest, and
Ugh,
this is
don't even
what I
want to
was
think.
left
I
with.
fucking
Deep
chewed it
fried
up,
bone
dude.
marrow
Oh, it's so
brisket.
terrible.
Now, even though this was a lot of work, it will always be one of the
Linux
most
crossed
memorable
5%. I
briskets
did
I ever
not, but
had
I
in my
was.
life.
I already fucking
Damn.
thought that was gonna happen. So
Here's something you might never see again. I'm deep frying a brisket in bone marrow. Now, not only this experiment.
especially with fucking PewDiePie covering that shit.
Job. Business. Career shower with my bedroom door open. Just profession.
Okay,
Employment.
that's probably YouTube deal now.
Occupation. Job.
Down the big blue street.
Work. Working. Office. Retail. Employ. Hired. Application. Job. Working. Work. Job. Industry. Office. Grind. Employment. Contract. Job.
Literally doesn't have access to another. Okay.
Business. Output. Production. Employment. Job. Manage. Labor. Manufacture.
Well, unfortunately, there's already plenty of distros that are Windows-like.
Customer.
So the corporatized ones.
Employment. Job. Earn.
Well, I've
Pay.
heard from a lot of people in the community that it's actually really difficult to say definitively. There is. It's just all predictive.
I took a seasonal ranger job in the Cascades. Mostly isolation stuff, watching fire lines, logging trail damage, monitoring wildlife. A few radio check-ins a day, and the rest of the time is mine. Perfect gig for someone trying to get away. The cabin I was assigned sits about 12 miles from the nearest road. Old place, nothing fancy, radio tower, generator, propane stove. No internet. No cell service. Just me, the trees, a whole lot of quiet. I like it. Until the third week. That's when the noises started. Not animals, not weather. Footsteps. They were subtle at first. Slow.
It is
heavy,
kind of crazy,
night,
methane.
hear them
I mean, I
circling
thought
slowly,
initially
4 or 5 paces at a time,
that
and
the whole
nothing.
Pop OS thing with Rust was fine.
I set up trail cams.
And then it seems like once that started, it
Motion
just
triggered infrared. I nailed them to
other
trees
distros
on the
started
perimeter
rushing to
pattern.
do that shit.
So this morning I found all 8 on the ground. Not broken, not chewed, just unscrewed from the trees and placed neatly in a pile beside the front steps. Like a message. Like a warning. I put them back up. 2 days later, they were safer. 3 of them had been moved, not far, just 10 feet in, angled towards the windows now. I didn't sleep that night. I brought the cams inside that morning, locked the door behind me.
I agree, man.
Checked the windows.
I totally agree.
Each camera had about 5 hours of footage, mostly empty. Before we get started on tonight's video, I'm going to let you know about tonight's author. Dr. Plague, or Lucius, has a book available now on Amazon. This is actually the 5th compilation of short stories that they have available on Amazon, and I'll have a link to all 5.
Fucking love Mr. Creepypasta.
If you guys love horror stories, or if you've loved any of the stories you've heard from Lucius before, I strongly suggest you check this out. You don't want to miss out on any of the...
Sussy Baka?
No one wanted to stand in front of it.
That was creepypasta.
Eventually, we found 6 students that said yes. So let's try it.
Type of story that in the 2010s, like 2013, 2014, 15, 16 era, you had a lot of really great narrators that would read them. And they are scary stories, but they're particular. Want a better understanding of them? Look up Mr. Creepypasta, sort by his most popular videos, and watch his top few popular ones.
But it wasn't music. However, I had an idea. Look at these microphones. This setup will force the correct note to be sung, so even their screams will become beautiful.
So, for instance, I'm sure you've heard of some of these. Jeff the Killer, Five Nights at Freddy's Hidden Lore, The Smile Dog, Laughing Jack, strangest security tape I've ever seen. I literally was watching that video when it first came out. Oh, man. I was listening to this shit before I met my wife. Before we dated, before the kids. The Devil Game, I remember watching that. That was after we started dating. Baraska's amazing. I was watching that shit back when I was in 10th grade. Oh, man. Nostalgia trip right now.
I work at a gas station in rural Pennsylvania. It's a boring job, but it's pretty easy. It pays all right. A few weeks ago, this new guy started. I'll call him Jeremy. Jeremy's weird. He's about 25, 26, and he hardly speaks. But he's got the creepiest laugh I've ever heard. My boss and I both noticed this, but it's never been a problem, so there's not much he can do about it. Customers have never complained about it. He's always done his job fairly well. Until a few weeks ago, anyway. And that's when things started missing. It can be a problem in any business that sells consumer goods. And there's only one
I've not heard this in
time at the gas station.
probably 8 or 9 years.
Pretty small place.
Maybe even longer.
My boss started noticing
I stopped sleeping to these because my wife didn't like them. Made her unsettled. What time is it for me? 6:49 a.m. According to the taskbar. I mean, I'm listening to it for myself. That's why I said you guys should look it up. I love it. If I played the audio, my stream would probably get struck off the internet anyway. I mean, this does have, like, how many views? At least a few million. Jeremy. Okay. Food is Elgano. Which means that stream chat, I'm going to call it. It was great meeting all of you new people on the channel. I appreciate you being here. As usual, the stream went very well. And I do appreciate it. Especially to the reoccurring subs as well. You guys have stuck by me for months now. And I'll never forget you guys. So I really do appreciate it. I'm going to try to go live again later. So if anybody has the time and they're around, they see me go live, then that would be amazing. I'd love to see you guys again. And remember, the Discord is in the pinned comment. So anybody that wants to be part of this little community, we're growing over 160 people. I also post when I'm going live there and stream updates and all sorts of other stuff. So probably the best way to be notified when I go live, unless you have notifications on or whatever. But regardless, thank you guys so much once again. X-Silver, Leon, Anatux, Methane, everybody else, I bid you all adieu. Brown? Don't worry, Brown. I can't forget about you, man.